Right, so in today's video I'm going to be putting the all new DJI Osmo Nano thoroughly through its paces today. And this Nano is the 128 gig version. Now you can get that in two versions, a 64 gigabyte or a 128 gig, but I do highly recommend you go with this because it's internal storage, and then when that's full you can transfer it, which is rather quick, straight to the SD card on the Vision dock. And in that combo package you get three accessories with the Nano. This is to attach to your hat, you get the magnetic lanyard, and then the suction cup mount which attaches to your car. So funnily enough, the Nano and the Action 5 Pro are very similar specs. They both boast a 1/1.3 sensor, and they've both got 13.5 stops dynamic range, and they've both got that 10-bit colour profile. So all the specs on the Nano is pretty similar to the Action 5 Pro. Do stick around because in future videos I'm going to be comparing the Action 5 Pro and the Nano head to head. So now let's test out that first accessory, which is attached to my baseball cap. Again, keep an eye on the stabilization as well as the onboard microphone and the resolution there. Here we go. Right, so now I've got the Nano on the baseball cap, and I'm just going to go a little walk here. I've got horizon balancing on because as it's on the baseball cap it could be a little offline there. So I'd always recommend when it's attached to a baseball cap, stick horizon balancing on. So what does the video quality look like? 4K 30, and also the 13.5 stops dynamic range we're looking at here, and also the inbuilt audio quality from the Nano. What does all them look like and sound like? And now I'm going to point the Nano straight into the sun, so that's really going to test out that 13.5 stops dynamic range. What's the video quality look like? And this Vision dock's coming in really handy to frame my shots there. So this is walking at a normal pace, and now with that horizon balancing and stabilization activated, let's pick up the pace and start jogging. So I'm not taking care at all how I'm moving, and the baseball cap is flapping up and down on the peak, but I can't see what's happening. In fact, let me see the Vision dock. And that looks pretty stable as I'm looking through that Vision dock, but once again, I'm not really going to know until I get back in post. So I'm walking through a heavily shaded area right now. The sun's behind the clouds and these walls are creating some shade. I'm in normal filming mode. It's attached to the baseball cap with a mount which you get. So what's the footage look like? How stable is it? How clear is it? And what's the audio sound like yet again? And now it's time to attach the Nano to the magnetic lanyard, but I strongly recommend you put it underneath your shirt and put horizon balancing on because it's not like a static position like a chest harness, so it may sway around there. And now you can see the Nano attached to my shirt. It does look like it's floating, but it's securely fastened to that lanyard underneath. So it's going to be 4K 30 as usual, standard D-warp, and we'll put horizon balancing on because as we're walking that may shift around a little bit. So once again, keep an eye on that video quality and the audio. Here we go. Right, so now the Nano's on that magnetic lanyard. I've got horizon balancing enabled. I've just framed my shot through the Vision dock, and now let's do a steady walk round and just see what the footage looks like. Once again, I'm walking at a normal pace. I'm not running or jogging. I don't think I will either because I can feel it bouncing on my chest now as I'm walking, so it's not the most stable accessory. But it's all about what the footage looks like because we've got that horizon balancing activated and also the high stabilization enabled. And once again, listen to the audio because I'm not talking to the front of the camera, so is there any change in audio quality? And also keep an eye on that dynamic range and picture quality. So I'm going to be repeating myself a lot today because I want you to hear the inbuilt audio quality as well as that picture quality in 4K. Because don't forget, we've almost got the same specs as the Action 5 Pro. And as I said, stick around because in future videos I'm going to be really putting those head to head. Right, so now I've got the Nano on the magnetic lanyard again. So now let's test the picture quality with the hyperlapse at ×10 rate whilst it's attached to that magnetic lanyard. Here we go. I didn't expect it to be as good as that because it's on that magnetic pendant on my chest underneath my t-shirt, but it looks like it did a really good job there. Now I've done plenty of hyperlapse tests through all those rates on my channel on all different cameras, and I wouldn't really go for ×10 rate, which I did there, because you do get slight bounce as you'll see in that footage if you analyse it. ×15 is the sweet spot whilst walking, but where I am today I haven't got much ground to cover, and if you've seen my channel and follow my channel, try not to get twists and turns when you're doing hyperlapse because it can get a bit messy. So we just had a little short run around this place today, but I'm really impressed with that ×10 hyperlapse. And now I'm off to the supermarket, so I thought it's a great idea to sneak the Nano in on the shopping trolley as it's magnetised there. I'm going to put it in various positions inside of the supermarket trolley and hopefully nobody sees the camera. Let's see what that footage looks like attached to the supermarket trolley. Here we go. Fancy seeing you here. Right, that were interesting. As you've seen, I managed to attach the Nano all over the shopping cart there, and then I'll be able to look through the vision dock at the bottom to frame my shot there. And there are quite a few people in, and it's that tiny I could just put it inside that cart and nobody knew whatsoever. So it's pretty much of a little spy camera as well. And now you can see the street lamps on behind me. They're coming on everywhere now. The sun's gone down and it's going to be a complete blackness in around 30 minutes. But now it is fairly dark looking around. So what's that 1/1.3 sensor look like in normal filming mode? And now I'm going to switch over to pure video mode on the Nano to compare that. And now I've switched over to super night mode. I do apologise, I called it pure video mode. I wish they'd call them all the same thing, because pure video mode, that's enabled on the Insta360 cameras. And now I've switched over to super night mode, so can we see any differences? I'm in the exact same place and it's literally a few seconds apart. And this is in normal video mode. So I'm just going to show you the suction mount which comes with a combo package, and that just sticks straight on, and then you'll just slacken this to move the ball and joint around and then put it clockwise to keep it tight. So now I've got the Nano attached inside the car. Let's get over to that 4K 30 footage and see what it looks like. Here we go. So now I've just set off what's the resolution look like in 4K 30 with this absolutely tiny camera. So while I'm driving around, I'm going to mount the Nano in various positions inside of the car and keep an eye on the dark spots and light spots, because we've got that 13.5 stops dynamic range to really test out today. Where have you gone? It's to my left now. Right, so, and now I've got the Nano attached to the left window, facing inside the car. Again, what's the footage look like? I'm not used to these detachable cameras. I've got plenty of action cameras, so I'm always looking through back and tweaking my settings. So I'll put the vision dock over there. I thought I'd tell you this. I didn't have to say this, but I'm going to. Put vision dock there, looking through screen at back, point it out window. I'm like, why ain't it focusing? Just for like 2 seconds, but I found it right funny, so I had to tell you, because like I say, I'm not used to cameras being on the front and the screen being on the back and point and shoot. And then when you detach it, it takes a bit of getting used to be fair. So I just thought that was quite funny. And now I'm going to set a time lapse going with the Nano, 4K 30, and we'll set it of intervals of 2 seconds. We'll do that for 10 minutes, and it's not going to be attached to the vision dock. I'm just going to magnetically stick it to the car, and hopefully we don't get too much cloud cover so it looks a nice time lapse. Let's see what the time lapse looks like with the Nano. Here we go. So what did you think to that time lapse? It was on top of the roof, but I couldn't magnetically stick it on like I said at the beginning, because you were just getting half of the car roof in there. So I used a selfie pole with that tripod on the end and just stuck the Nano on top of there. And as you saw, it was pretty good. I viewed it back on the vision dock, and that time lapse, it looks quite good to be honest. I know I'm only viewing it for a tiny screen and there wasn't much wind around, so them clouds won't move in really fast. But you get the gist there, and I think the time lapse feature on the Nano is really usable. And now I'm finished filming with the Nano today, so I'm going to show you how easy it is to transfer those files straight from the Nano to the SD card. Here we go. So as you can see there, I've got 83GB left, and we started at 107GB. So in today's filming, I've filmed 24GB, and now I'm just going to show you how easy it is to export it to the internal storage, and I've got a 64GB card in there. So let's hit export and see how long that takes. And that's taken approximately 6.5 minutes to transfer 24 gigs from the Nano's internal storage straight to the internal storage on the Vision dock. So if you enjoy videos like this, on my channel I put all kinds of tech thoroughly through its paces, from drones, land cameras, action cameras and DSLRs, and zoom cameras, especially that high powered zoom, that Nikon P1100. I've done plenty of videos of that, so if you really like zoom videos, go and check that out, especially the moon video. That gets really creepy how far you can really zoom in on them craters there. So do stick around, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe already, because I'm really going to be testing this out over the next few weeks to really see what it's capable of. So as always, do stay tuned to the channel, as there's going to be plenty more videos on the horizon. But for now, thanks for watching, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and bye for now.